applause going. So questions. We have a few from email, I have a few, and then a couple audience ones. If anyone has any questions, keep them in your brain right now, because just one or two, oh, thank you. Just a couple minutes away, I'll be asking you to stand up and shout your question. So you mentioned actually last night at the show, I was at the show when you called out those fans. It was so funny. Sometimes they just need to be told, and that's obviously, they were just doing that to get your attention, and it worked. But what is, I don't want to say the craziest thing that a fan has done to get your attention, but what's maybe the funniest or the most obscene?
Well, you know, Sarah and I have been playing for 10 years, and we've definitely had some pretty funny moments, you know. I think like a night like last night, you know, we try our best to ignore behavior that shouldn't be rewarded, but then there's a point where it's like so distracting where you just have to be like, okay, everyone around these people are probably no longer having fun because it's just so annoying. And you know, I think, like I was saying last night, part of the Tegan and Sara experience is that we compulsively talk, and it's nervousness combined with just trying to keep the show interesting. And you know, we play so many shows a year, it's like we feel like the need to talk. So I think probably like the most obscene and crazy thing like that people generally do is like throw things on stage, like between like bras and teddy bears and cookies, coffee, all sorts of really random things.
Bags of coffee,
beer,
hot coffee.
No, like sorry, like coffee beans.
Okay.
Though someone did throw beer on stage when we were just in Europe, I don't think they threw it on us like on purpose or threw it to like it didn't hit us, but. I said, like, his fans were throwing gifts up on stage, so I was like, okay, just get it out of your system, throw everything up here, we'll clear it off, and then we can continue, and then a beer came flying up, and I was like, come on, who does that? So it was pretty crazy, but generally our fans are pretty awesome, pretty well-behaved.
Just like here, this is a tiny venue, and nobody's even breathing too loud, which is
no, I know. You may breathe now. No, I think everyone's usually there for the same reason, you know, they're there to see the show, and they want to have fun, and I've seen really amazing things, like our audience is really good, like last night somebody fainted, and you know, people are really, they're quick moving, and they're very helpful and friendly to each other. We have a lot of fans that travel around and see multiple shows, and they always say like our fan base is actually really supportive of each other, and they look out for each other.
That must be so cool to look out and be like, oh, you were there last night in a different province.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we do. I don't think it's weird at all. I totally get it. Yeah. I don't know where they get the money to do it, but
they find it somehow. We have an email question from actually someone who's a twin herself. She said she found it really hard growing up, but she says, I didn't really know my own age until I was, or my own name until I was about 3. So how did you, as twins, growing up in a band, how do you kind of keep your identities as you're touring?
I mean, I think that we were raised by parents who were really, really intense about us being independent and being seen as individuals, and they would take us out separately all the time, and we were always in different classes, and Tegan's name was too hard for me to try to take as my own. I just left that for her to deal with. I was happy to be Sarah. That was very simple. But I think that we get asked so much about twins, and I'm not sure that, I think we're an unfun answer because we weren't raised like twins, we were raised like just like sisters, and I didn't really think of myself as a twin, and I really saw myself as being very different from her, and we were encouraged to have different friends and have different interests, and Tegan was much better in certain classes than I was, and what did you say? I agree. And I think like socially we were comfortable in different situations. Like Tegan was definitely much more of a like high-strung kid and had a more difficult time like starting school or starting new classes or whatever. And I think that we just had such different personalities that there was just never any question. And you know, having a career and being associated with this band and sort of always having to sort of be as you know, a sister or a sibling or whatever. You know, I think that we're just so used to that it doesn't prevent us from still continuing to grow as individuals. And
I think because if you're not a twin, and you know, I don't see many twins in the audience right now, so we kind of learn about what twins should be like on TV, you know, matching outfits and matching hairstyles.
It's sort of like anything on television. Like there's this like embellishment that happens. Like we think that rock stars are supposed to have like fabulous lifestyles and party all the time, and we think twins are supposed to like talk in twin talk, and we think that girls are supposed to look a certain way and men are supposed to behave a certain way, but like I just think that we used to like get really frustrated by the whole twin thing because it seemed so it seemed like it like would like sort of be condescending. Like people would be like, how could you possibly live in different cities? And we'd be like, we don't share organs. It's not just we can do it. It's not a science experiment. And we would get so frustrated, and then I was like, God, you know, if I wasn't a twin, I might think the same thing about
We meet twins all the time.
They're
We
creepy.
just met the Watson twins, who are amazing. If you don't know the Watson twins, you should check them out. They're incredible, and they have a new record coming out soon. But I just met them for the first time. They're also very tall, and I was like, hello, we're twins. Like, I just immediately, like, even when you're a twin, you think twins are weird. Like, 'cause I met them, and it was like, they look just like each other, and they're talking like each other, and they're so tall, and I was like, I broke into a sweat talking to them. I was like, so, I think we get it. I think what Sarah's saying is we totally get it, but it's hard to have perspective, you know, when you're